Long time no see, but I am back to talk about entry-level software engineers. And as I predicted, the job market would get harder for these entry-level engineers. Why is this happening? Well, so many employees from FANG companies or generally high-paid corporate companies have been laying off. They are turning up the workload so that people who don't work that hard are pushed out of the company. So when those people are pushed out of these corporate high-paid companies, they must go to either smaller companies or less high-paid jobs. Well, people already have those jobs right now, so either they're going to beat the current competition and push those other people lower, or they're just going to sit on the job market. If you're in the tech industry, you know people who are senior engineers getting laid off from Facebook have no problem finding a job. They're taking the jobs that maybe you would have taken last year or the year before just because there are less of the high-paid FANG jobs out there than there were in 2020. And I have been telling you guys, if you are an entry-level engineer, now is not the time to have crazy expectations or wants, and no one is listening to me. I wanted to point it out to you and tell you exactly who these entry-level, no experience people that are asking for a high salary. So I pulled up on angellist.com. I recruit tons of people there as a tech recruiter, and you can put as experience. I have my experience at max 1 year total, and the salary, I'm looking for people above 100K. Now I found Aditya, who is a graduate researcher in deep learning computing. Now this person has no industry experience. They have a bachelor's from Pune University in India and a master's of computer science from the University of California, Riverside. They have experience with TensorFlow, Python, MongoDB, data processing, looking for 100K salary. Let's see someone else that is looking for something that level. We have Wiggy Chin. I apologize for anyone I offend with my mispronunciation. A software development engineer at a company for 9 months working on Java, MySQL, and Redis. Java, as we know, is an older kind of legacy tech tool, and a lot of people call it old. It is really popular with corporate companies, I'll say that. Tons of great Java engineers out there, but a job with 9 months of experience working with Java, I doubt that they've built some complicated applications in this job. If I look at the skill sets of what they've been doing, they're doing more RESTful web services and API work. But with his degree from the University of Liverpool and his master's degree from New York University, he is asking for 100K starting salary with only 9 months of experience. Let's find someone new. Jonathan Yee. He has 1 year of software experience from Larson Infotech. That's not the real name. I edited that a little so that you guys don't stalk him, but we actually have 1 year, 2 months of experience working with Java, Angular, PHP, and API things. Same kind of tech tool stack as the other guy, but he has a year of experience. Asking for $100,000. Let's keep going. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff. So we have, I can't read his name because it's in a different language, has 4 months of experience as an autonomous driving system engineer intern, so not a real job, as an internship. Sorry to offend you, interns. Research assistant for 5 months. So to be generous, I could say he has 5 to 9 months of experience. Has a master's in computer science from the University of Southern California. Looking for 100K. Now, I'm going to stop it and say this. We see a lot of people with masters in computer science in the tech industry. That is because a lot of people use a master's degree to come to the US and work on an OPT visa. Eventually that will go to an H-1B visa. There's not that many H-1B visas, but still a lot of people come, they get their masters in computer science, they get out the industry. Clearly they think that they can get 100K just because they have a master's degree in computer science. Well, because that is a barrier of entry for visa work authorization in the US, master's in computer science has a lot less value than you think it would. In other industries, I'm sure you can get a master's degree and it's super valuable, but in computer technology, computer science, tech in general, it's just been kind of destroyed as an opportunity in general for other people because it is a pathway to visa, work authorization, being able to work in the US for 3 to 9 years. Let's go on to someone else. I have Steve Morello. He went to General Assembly as a software engineer immersive fellow. So this person went to a boot camp. As a reminder, boot camp is not college. It's only a few months that you're working on something. Coming out from a boot camp does not mean you can compete with people who have a bachelor's in computer science. Sorry, you're going to need some experience with that for that boot camp to be comparable to a 4-year degree. Now, Steve has 4 months of experience at General Assembly, which is the end of certain of those General Assembly programs. They're not that long sometimes. We have also special assistant to the COO at a hospital for 1 year and 7 months. He does have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and it looks like he worked in health and hospitals, but decided to do a intensive in computer science to change his career. Now, this is something I see all the time. A lot of people coming from different industries. It could be healthcare, maybe it's law or accounting. They are not satisfied with the amount of money that they're making considering the work that they're doing. Accounting is like a professional job. So they will get disgruntled and go to a coding boot camp, learn Python, and try to get into the software industry. Steve here is looking for a $100K base salary. No CS degree at all. Just 4 months at General Assembly. He currently lives in New York, so there is some, okay, I get it, you're in New York, maybe you think you need that salary. Let me turn my circle light back on because it died. 100K is still a lot of money for someone who just spent 4 months learning stuff in a book. That is not worth 100K. Just because you have experience in another industry doesn't mean you suddenly get paid more in that new industry because you have previous experience. Maybe you'll get hired as someone that's more professional, but that's really the only advantage you have. Next, we have Harry. He has 4 months of experience as a robotics software engineer. The light just turned out above me. And he has 9 months of experience as a robotics intern. So generously speaking, this person has 1 year of experience, and I'm going to repeat it, and I'm sorry if this offends you, but an internship is not a real job. Okay, an internship is temporary experience that might help you learn how to be good at your job, but it's not a place I look forward to say this person has 9 months of experience. If it's an internship at 9 months, I'm going to say maybe cut that in half and we can call it 4.5 months of experience. That's not really how recruiters think. They see internship and they say, oh cool, you were busy during school. That's about it. This person has a master's degree from Columbia, is looking for, in New Jersey, so not even in New York, looking for $120,000 because he has a master's degree and 4 months of professional experience. But let's go to Emma out of the Bay Area. Now, this is something I hate that I see all the time people do who are entry level. She is an entry level person. I have 4 different jobs listed. They're listed as roles as an open source developer. All of them are the same period of time, from July to October, it looks like. One of them she's still active in, but I know if you have 4 jobs on your resume and they all say open source, that you're not actively employed by 4 companies, although you may be working and doing techie things. Your resume makes it look like you're a crazy overachiever. And if I want to do the I show off math, we have 12 months of experience. That's a year only earned in 4 months. Below that, I have experience as a marketing manager and a Fulbright grantee. She went to Fulbright for English language. So this person has 4 years of open source experience. I'm not going to count all 4 of these jobs as one. Sorry, you only get to pick one. I feel like I'm being generous to take it serious because it says open source all over her profile. So she lives in the Bay Area. Guess how much she's asking? This is your moment. $140,000. So as a reference, someone who makes $140,000 in Phoenix is doing really good. Someone who makes $140,000 in San Francisco, they still have years of experience. And this person has 4 months of open source experience out here asking for $140,000. It does seem like she had some sort of previous career. We have pre-med degree and a bachelor's in medicine that just, I guess, disappeared, and now she's trying to be a developer. But this is crazy, and she's never going to get a $140,000 job. Maybe if some manager thinks she's cute and wants to give her a chance, but that's just unrealistic. And so, by the way, guys, if you are a developer trying to negotiate a higher salary, you're probably not good at it. I'm sorry to tell you, you are not a salesperson, you are not a negotiator. So developers' tactic to trying to get a higher salary is that they go as high as they can. They ask for $140,000 with no experience. That's not actually negotiation. That's not really a good tactic, you know. As a recruiter, when I ask you your salary range, well, I mean, it could benefit you to not mention it at all. I certainly will bring that subject up again because I look really bad if I don't know the salary range that you're looking for. But if you're going to try to tell me that your salary range is egregiously high at the beginning of the interview process, I simply will not continue with you. The better tactic is to try as much as you can to not say salary until you get to the offer stage. Gather multiple offers. Tell each company that you have a higher offer. Maybe it's not true. I did that exactly with a job in the past. I told them that, well, I did have another job offer on the table, but I told them it was $10,000 more than it was, and I got even more than $10,000 than the other job was going to offer me. So that's just an example. But if you're a software engineer, like actually a good one, you're not an entry level, or maybe you have a CS degree and you're watching this, don't try to be a hustler. You're not a hustler, and if you were, you would be in a hustler career. The tactic of just trying to get a higher salary to jumping job to job, maybe that worked in 2017, 2018 when the startup bubble was huge, and I did see lots of people doing that. Now all over YouTube you can find videos of software engineers or recruiters telling you to just switch jobs so you can increase your salary because they're never going to give you a raise. Well, that's really bad advice during a recession coming into next year, 2023. You're going to see those people who did that in the past struggle to get jobs. I can tell you personally, I automatically am rejecting people who have multiple jobs that have 1 to 1.5 years in the job. I can tell you're a job hopper. It's super easy to see it. And, you know, as a recruiter, I put up with job hoppers when it was kind of harder to get people hired. All the good engineers were going to FANG companies. They were overhiring at these companies, preparing for major growth or these big projects. Well, the script is flipping. Now these people are getting laid off, or they're just being pushed to the edge and are quitting themselves. So there's a lot less jobs for you to hop to. Don't job hop right now. Maybe save that for 2024, but it's a really bad idea, and a lot of people are going to suffer the consequences of their of listening to people on YouTube who aren't being truthful and honest. Like, I am just a person on YouTube, but at least I'm looking up stuff right from AngelList to tell you how insane these people sound. I hire people in one of the largest cities in America, so I have no reason to lie to you. If I'm wrong, I'm still going to get people viewing it because they think I'm crazy. And if I'm right, I'm still going to get people viewing it because they know I'm right. But these people out here who are trying to tell you to jobs hop to get higher salaries, well, the only way they're right is if you get a higher salary, you know? The things that I'm saying, it's going to be harder to get a job as an entry-level engineer. Well, the only way that that's right is if you, as an entry-level engineer, have a hard time. And it's kind of likely you do have a hard time because you Google search this video. I have Anuj, who has 5 months of experience as an intern and 1 year of experience outside the industry, has a bachelor's in finance, in Nashville, Tennessee, asking for $110,000. Now, I know Nashville has gotten more expensive, but I promise you, someone that has basically 5 to 6 months of experience in the industry is never going to get $100,000, much less $110,000 in Nashville. I have Jan from Boston. She has a bachelor's in computer science. Woo! Finally, we got one. She has 3 years of experience at MIT Media Lab. I have never heard of that. Something tells me that this is this is a computer science museum that's run by MIT. I knew it. Anytime I see MIT on a resume that's pretending to be a job, I know it's not a job. She worked at a library. She says she's a group of decoders. She made a theoretical wearable comfortable ultrasound patch for a breast cancer detection. Yeah, so this is not a real job. That's mean to say it's definitely a real job. Obviously she got paid, I'm sure she got benefits, but this is not what it looks like to work in the software engineer, or this is not really what it looks like for most people to work in the software engineering industry. You're not making these like unique applications of technology. You are debugging stuff. So the person who gets this kind of job where they make like this really cool project for this really cool solution are like super senior in their career and they're high up in the industry. They have someone else do all the dirty work. But if you're in a position where you're really writing the software from scratch, creating the ability to do these scan images, there's probably a chance that you're a student, you're working with a university, you're part of some museum like this person is. But she's in Boston, you know, without any developer experience, asking for $120,000. And recruiters can see through this kind of bullcockery. If I see MIT listed on the job, I'm going to almost always assume that it's education. If you're going to put down a research assistant job at your university, I don't really count that as experience. I know that you are busy during university and it looks really good that you are using your time well, but it doesn't really create a professional environment that prepares you to work with other people. A lot of young people, especially in computer science, think that you are just born ready for the workforce. You know how to work with people and it's just going to be all easy. But back in the day, people would talk about how they would hire someone without industry experience as long as they had any experience in the workforce. That's because a lot of people don't know how to behave professionally, communicate well, and be easy to work with. So you kind of do need experience in the industry to be a good employee, and that is a valuable thing. So a lot of these like entry level or just under experienced software engineers that are asking for the crazy salaries and they don't have any work experience, I'm sorry, but I would pay more for you. I maybe would pay that crazy salary if you had experience as a manager at some office in a white collar job. It doesn't really apply. We can go back to that 3-year MIT working lady. Like, yeah, I'll give her the break that she had a job for 3 solid years. And she definitely had to behave professionally, so that's going to give her a little something, but it's not magically going to give you coding experience. I hope I'm communicating that well. We have someone else who has 1 year of software development experience, a bachelor's in engineering, and a master's in computer engineering, looking for $100,000 in San Jose. You know, maybe with a year of experience, but that year of experience is already over a year old. So that's something else to consider. If you've been out of the industry for a while, you've been out of the industry for over a year, you're going to have to take a salary cut, or you might just have the same salary that you had before, but you've been out of the industry for a year, so there's a certain amount of weeks on the job that the company is going to have to pay for you to catch up, pay for you to get used to being on the job again. Here's a fun one. We have Devin, who has 4 years of experience being a rideshare driver, has experience with Python and JavaScript as a front-end engineer. That makes no sense, but looking for $100,000 in Seattle, Washington. This is crazy. And when people do this, they make recruiters like me think that I need to be a lot more stricter with salary bands with entry-level engineers, because clearly there's a lot of people out there asking for high salaries, and if I'm going to budge, then the budge of the salary will just always go up and up. That's what's telling me. So if you feel like you're not getting good job offers on the job search as someone that has less experience, well, this kind of behavior definitely does impact your prospects. We have William, who went to a full stack development. You can't get a degree in full stack development, but he says he has a degree in full stack development from University of New Hampshire, has experience in other things, but absolutely no experience in software engineering at all. Actually, it looks like he has more experience in sales, so maybe he's trying to sell me to hire him for $100,000 in Boston without any development experience at all. And I'm not sure if he has a degree. We have Kevin in Massachusetts, who has 7 months of experience as a research assistant and a bachelor's degree in public health, looking for $100,000 as a software engineer. I don't see any boot camp there, but that might be why. We have someone out of New York, 1 year and 4 months of experience looking for 120,000. Maybe bachelor's degree in computer science, that helps. I don't know though, 120K for a year of experience. There's just so many people out there with a year of experience that are asking for less. So I would really have to be impressed, and this person's profile is not impressive at all. I don't even see any information about the job and the kind of tooling that they used. I hope this is giving you really good feedback of how recruiters look at your profile when they're trying to hire someone for the job. I have someone who has a graduate research job for 4 months and a software developer job before that for a year. Master's in computer science, looking for 100K in Boulder, Colorado. Yeah, I would say that's an aspirational salary, especially for Boulder. I do know that is an expensive area, but one, Boulder is not that big, so it's really easy to live outside Boulder and work in Boulder if you want. Two, everyone knows that Boulder is expensive, so if you're moving to Boulder, it's just not really the time in the economy to move to an expensive place and demand a high salary. Maybe in 2017, 2018, as the economy changes, people are going to want to offer people less money. I don't know how to say this nicely, but I would not be surprised to hear if people in Boulder are not seeing as many raises or bumps in their salary next year. I wouldn't be surprised to hear if, in general, the salary increase slows down, especially for those who have less experience over the next year. And these are just some examples. As I'm scrolling through here, I have Hassan, who has 2 months of experience at Stanford Lab. Like I said, like, you're busy during school, but it's not a real job. And we have an internship at Meta for 4 months. So if he had an internship at Meta and he didn't get hired, that means he's not that great. But so he's in the Bay Area. So let's go over that again. 4 months of internship experience and 2 months as a research assistant during college. $170,000. Now he does have a master's degree from Stanford. $170,000 starting salary. This is not a joke, and I hear this stuff all the time. That's why I'm making the video. I've had people who have no months of experience pull out of the job search completely because I couldn't offer them remote. I'm just thinking, I don't know what invincible skill you think you have that demands you remote with no experience. As you heard, a lot of companies are calling their employees back in. We have Jacob in Ann Arbor, Michigan, who has 1 month of experience as an internship at Salesforce and 1 month of experience as an internship at Google. So Ann Arbor, Michigan, right? $200,000. I'm not even kidding. $200,000. This is why recruiters don't want to talk to entry-level engineers who demand any sort of salary level, because it can just go through the roof. And I'm really kind of getting tired. Like, I understand maybe if you were like a Google, Apple, Snapchat intern, then you worked at Facebook, Meta for like 3 years. Okay, so you got some clout to work with, but if you're like this Daniel who worked at Preform, not anymore, but he worked there for 5 months. Before that, he worked at Tata Consultancy Company, which is a great place to work if you don't have much experience, because they will hire people without experience. So he has a total 1 year and 4 months of experience in the Bay Area, $150,000. The highest salary I've ever seen an entry-level person be brought on. Highest salary and entry-level being less than a year of experience. He had internships. He had a great Stack Overflow. That was really the thing. He was like the #1 contributor on one of those websites. $120,000. That was the highest I've ever seen. And he had the internship experience. He had the online presence. He was in the Bay Area. And we did have to negotiate that salary up, but he's like the best of the best. He was one of the best of the best, coming out of like the best schools. So that's the height. That is the top of it. And a lot of people, especially kids who have no experience, like Will Fleming in the U.S. With 3 months of internship experience, 6 months of internship experience across 2 internships, asking for $200,000. I'm sorry, sir, I do not think that you are the best of the best. He went to Carleton College for a bachelor's in computer science. I never heard of that college. That guy is not going to ever make that amount of money coming out of college. Especially, what's with this Ann Arbor, Michigan people? This another person who has 3 months of experience as an intern. That's all. $150,000. We have a software intern at Meta, so that's 3 months, $160,000 for her first job. I get it, you're in New York, but there's no way in hell you are ever making $160,000 with one internship and a bachelor's degree in computer science. It's absolutely crazy. But if you're trying to get a higher salary or you're an entry-level person trying to get a job, please subscribe to my channel. I super feel for you. It is a hard time to get a job right now. And a lot of your peers are making recruiters like me not even want to interview you. I will admit I have been heartless at rejecting entry-level employees lately because there's just so many applicants at that level that I can just be like, I don't see any internship on the resume, reject. And that's the kind of competition you're going up against. So someone like this CT who's looking for $160,000, well, she has Meta internship, so she's going to make it past that first round. But at the end of the day, she's going to ask for $160,000. I'm going to reject her. So it's like, it's kind of a waste of time. It gives most of the entry-level software engineers kind of no chance. Like once there's someone who gets past a certain stage in the interview process, then we really want to hire them. We've committed so much work and time. I have a entry-level candidate right now who's interviewing with FANG companies, and I know he wants a higher salary than we have offered, and he's going to have other options, so he might not take it, but he's the only person out of, I think, 250 to 300 resumes that I've seen that we've offered a job to. That's the kind of competition you're going up against. You're going to get one job offer for every 250 to 300 opportunity, or yeah, is that the math? You're a computer science major. Let's figure it out and let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this channel. If you are in the industry or you're just interested to see the tech bubble burst, please subscribe to my channel. I, again, will be updating more regularly. I'm about to record another video. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think I'm making this up? Do you not believe my cute little screen here telling you the Angel Co truth? Let me know. Here's a juicy secret about Angel Co. They let you do a diversity search. So in the diversity search, you can actually put gender. You cannot search men. You can only search for women, you cannot search for men. You can only search for women, non-binary, or other. So interesting about AngelList, they let you discriminate based on gender unless you are a man. Big secret. Let me know if you knew about that. And thanks for watching this channel. I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.